So today I'm talking about there's a new light coming. And some of you may know that CSL has a concept for the year, and that is that we are working toward a world that works for everyone. And there's a new light coming is the topic that they suggested for today. But I didn't resonate with whatever it was that they were trying to say, so I'm taking off on my own. When we talk about a new light coming, I would like for you to envision perhaps a rock concert at night. And crowds and crowds and crowds of people. And they have their cell phone lights on. And they're rocking and rocking and rocking. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now you just think of a mass of people with their light rocking to the music. And what must that look like from outer space? Just this huge mass of light. And the unique and amazing part of that is that big, huge mass of light is made up by individual cells, right? So when we talk about a new light coming, it's you. You're it. You're the cell of the divine that is waiting to be lit, to hear the music, to be the soul of this movement that's happening across the country. It's up to each one of us to let our light shine. You know, the truth of the matter is, there is no darkness. There is no darkness. It is the void of light that creates the illusion of darkness. And it's up to us to be the light that shines into the dark. What I really want to talk about is that enlightenment is really like this. It is switching on the light of yourself. And unfortunately, it's an inside job. Nobody can do that for you. Nobody can do that for you. You have no one or nothing that can turn your light on but you. It's up to you to take the tools that this philosophy offers, which are amazing, and you read them in a book and you say, oh yeah, that's right, that sounds right. But unless you take the steps to use them, they're not of any value to you whatsoever. You know, really, really, I wish that I had a magic wand that I could touch each one of you and enliven you with the excitement of spirit. That I could open your brain and pour spirituality into it, or your heart to zap you with spirituality. I wish that I could do that. Unfortunately, I can't. Each one of us has to do that for ourselves. So what I want to talk about today is that enlightenment is an inside job. You got to switch your light on from the inside. Nobody can do it for you. And I want to talk about going back to the simple steps that we need to take to enliven our lives with that spiritual quest. And it's so exciting to me. It is so exciting to explore, to spelunk the soul, to find out what it is within us that is connected to the divine. What it is within us that turns us on, spiritually speaking. So here are some things that I suggest to you. The first thing is to be mindful, to be present, wholly and completely. When we live in the moment, that is the moment of connection with the divine. When we live in the moment, there's nothing to fear, there's no regrets. The present moment is the peaceful, happy moment. As Robert teaches us, it's happy in the present. So being mindful and noticing the way that Spirit shows up in those little things, in the hawks, in the kicked shoe. There's so many things that happen in this world that give us clues that God's at work, but we can easily miss them by regretting yesterday or anticipating tomorrow. We miss the cues and the clues of the way Spirit is at work in our lives at every moment. And when we just interact with people in that presentness, hearing what they really are saying, seeing what they are really feeling, giving you the clues and the cues about them, that is being with and sitting with the divine. Because each one of us is a cell of the light. Each one of us is an expression of the divine. And we are interconnected the way light is interconnected. So being mindful is the number one tool for becoming enlightened. And then the second thing that we can do is remember, of course, that we are all one, that there is not a separation. There is not them against us or us against them. It is all one. So when we find ourselves being accusatory, when we find ourselves being judgmental, just recognizing that that's me, that's who I am also. We're all interconnected as the light is. So remembering that we're one, being mindful, and the third is to meditate. That is the number one life-changing practice, because it is setting an appointment and being in agreement with the divine, being willing to show up on a regular basis to have an intimate exchange with God, Spirit, the creative force, whatever language you want to use. Meditating is a commitment. It's like a date with the beloved. And because what we think is what we get, if we blow off our appointment with the divine, what is that saying to the beloved? Oh, well, yeah. It really is creating a void in your relationship with spirit unless you're willing to make an appointment and keep an appointment with the divine. So when we pray in the way that we do, affirmatively, and then Spirit has some instructions about what to do next. Treat and move your feet. What is that you need to do? What is your part in the unfolding of your life? If you're not there to get the message, to hear the answers, because you haven't bothered to keep your appointment, you miss it. And then the fourth thing, which I think is the most important, and that is faith. And more than faith, it is knowing. Knowing that everything is unfolding in perfection. Trusting the divine to help you orchestrate your life in a manner that is self-satisfying, that is enlightened. When things go wrong, and often they do, in our estimation, in our interpretation, the faith to trust and know that it is all right. It's all coming together perfectly. Faith is bringing your light to the dark spots, dissipating the darkness with your light. Faith is trusting that it's all unfolding perfectly. And even though I can judge things negatively, harshly, even though I can be critical, the truth of the matter is, all of it is working together for my highest and best good, and for each one of us, our highest and best good, because we're all connected. Trusting and having faith that it's absolutely gonna turn out perfectly, without me having to bend it and stretch it and push it and cram it into a way that works, because it doesn't. I was thinking yesterday, and I don't know why, I wanted to share with you, I think I probably have at some point in time, but I had, my husband and I were in a house, and the woman who owned the house defaulted on her state taxes, and so our house that we've been living in went up for auction, and we needed to find a new place to live. And it was so distressing for me, so upsetting for me, and I pleaded and gnashed my teeth and wailed and moaned about, oh my gosh, where are we gonna ever find a place to live? This is so hard. Yanana, 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 yanana. It was really upsetting to me. My husband was ill, yaka, 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 you know, just on and on. But here's how it worked out. I also had an office that I had a private practice in. And so the manager of the property that we were being evicted from, for lack of a better word, he managed this other house. The other house was less rent than we were paying. It was much nicer. And it had a private office for me that had an outside entrance. So when it was all said and done, it saved us like $700 a month for this lovely space that I could have my practice and be present with my husband. Wow. How delicious that was. Now, I have to confess, I didn't have the faith to trust Spirit at that time. But I think those circumstances and situations are kind of like muscle building. The more that things like that flow together, the more we become willing to really trust it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be better, it's gonna be swell, and sure enough, it is. Worry and fear are really bad habits that we need to get over. We can trust the divine. All is in divine right order. And knowing that we have that intimate, warm, supportive relationship with God is what enlightenment really is. We are all shiny, shiny, shiny expressions of Spirit. We just need to clear the cloud cover away so that we can be part of that new light that is coming. You're it. I truly do love you. Each one of you. I love your shiny, shiny light. Namaste.
Namaste.
So, invite Kate and Steve to join me as we hold the consciousness. I permit myself to move within, and I invite you to join me to that bright, shining, glorious space that we embrace the beloved. That place and that space that we absolutely trust and know on the deepest level that it's all right. It's all fine. It's all joy-filled. I move into that place where I know the truth. I snuggle into that place of protection, that place of contentment, that place where I feel loved and supported by all that is. And in that place, all doubt, all fear, all anger, all judgment dissipates and returns to the nothingness that never was. All of those things, doubt and fear, anger, judgment, are exactly like the darkness. They have no substance. They have nothing. So I easily and effortlessly bring the light onto, around, and through those places that have no substance. I celebrate the light of each one of us. I allow peace and joy, contentment to settle over me, to settle around me, to settle through me. And I absolutely know there is a new light shining forth in this place that we call Circle's Edge. All is well. I celebrate that by claiming